What is up, everybody? My name is Wes. This is Topshelfers, and today we have another tough movie tier list. We are doing Robert Zemeckis movies, ultimate tier list, all of his movies ranked from worst to best. We got 22 of them, and I love doing this now, where we go through the directors because you start tying knots together and realizing like, wow, I didn't realize that he did this movie, and this movie, right? Like on paper, like I've seen all of these movies, but I didn't know the guy who did Castaway also did Back to the Future. Like, I guess like during the time of me watching movies when I was younger, like I of course I knew big name directors, but that wasn't something that I looked at until I was much older and really, I didn't really, not that I didn't care, but it just wasn't something. I just wanted to go watch the movies. And now going back and like looking at all these different movies and looking that some of these guys have just single-handedly formed opinions of movies for me is pretty crazy. So we got 22 movies from Robert, and I think this one is interesting because there's definitely some movies that are going to be at the bottom for me, like unapologetically, I just didn't enjoy them, and then there's some that are going to be at the top where it's like shit. I don't know what to do. So I think for me first, I we talked about this one in our Jim Carrey list that came out on Saturday. I really don't like A Christmas Carol. I, I just I just don't think it's fun to watch, and I don't have fun watching it. Maybe I'm just not in the Christmas spirit, but I don't think it's a good movie. I also really didn't like Death Becomes Her. I thought it was really corny and really dumb, and I was pretty shocked that Meryl Streep and Bruce Willis was in that kind of dog shit movie. It was the '90s, but I don't know. I just didn't get it. I don't know. I just thought it was really dumb. And then The Witches was pretty bad. That actually might be worse than um, Death Becomes Her. Maybe just a little bit. I also didn't care for the Pinocchio movie. How many times have we got to remake Pinocchio in the last 5 years, guys? Like, our boy Guillermo del Toro did it great. Let's just leave it at that. I also really don't like the Welcome to Marwin. Thought that was pretty bad. Um, I didn't really care. I'm looking at my notes and comparing it to now that we have all these movies in front of us. I did watch Here. Here was okay, I guess. It was okay. I'm trying to make sure that I don't. I might have missed one or two movies here, so which is okay. That happens. Because I don't know if I've watched. I don't know what this is. Oh, that's What Lies Beneath. Okay. 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 Well, that movie was dog water too. Is there anything else that I want to put this low? Like I know people really didn't like Beowulf, but the first time I ever watched Beowulf, I was pretty young, and I thought it was fucking way cool. And I yeah, I like that movie. Um, I think I'm gonna put Allied here. I'm gonna put here. Uh, okay, now we're into the movies that I actually care about. Which one's this though? I keep skipping over it because I'm like Googling trying to find. I don't know if I've seen this. Shit. I'm wondering if these are movies that he was not the director in and he was just the like producer or writer or something like that. Let's look at Screen Rant's gonna make me do this all sorts of weird ways. Damn it. Like I've talked about before when I do these tier lists, right? Like, cause I get the idea of the director. I make sure I watch most of the movies, if not all the movies. Um, yeah, I don't know what that one is. Oh, it's right there. Romancing the Stone. I missed that one. It has good ratings too. 1984, romantic comedy adventure. Well, we'll have to add that one to the watch list at some point because I definitely missed it. Okay. But what I was gonna say is I don't really go into these movies with the like my list already built out. Like I obviously know like probably what my top five are, but everything else like we just kind of go like we do it as we go. So okay, now is where we probably got to drop off Beowulf. Even though like I said I like it, it's just we're getting into the nitty gritty, and there's some movies that are we definitely got to have it have a little bit higher than that. Um, I think this is maybe where I'm gonna put Back to the Future Part 3. Still fun. I mean, how do you not enjoy the Back to the Future movies? If you haven't seen them or don't enjoy them, you gotta fucking figure yourself out because they're pretty damn good. Um, man, see, I really really like Polar Express, but I did really really like Used Cars, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. But I think for me, I Want to Hold Your Hand is probably my biggest thing, right? Is like, and maybe we'll get to some point down the line where maybe we do some music tier lists. I don't know. Music is so tough to talk about, but I, when I was younger, I didn't like the Beatles. I just, I just didn't. I don't know. Like, I heard some of their music, and where I live in the states, anything that's PG gets so overplayed because just the culture around here. And I just felt like the music that I listened to compared to the Beatles, I was like, dude, it's just not good. And as I got older, I kind of respected their music a little bit more, and then like I had some adventures in my life, and I'm like, okay, I get what they're doing. I get what they're cooking with. Like, it's cool, but there's so many movies about the fucking Beatles, bro. Like, again, not a bad movie. I've obviously ranking it higher than almost half of his list. So, but yeah, that's my little rant. All right, so that's 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. So this is our top 10. And I think I'm going to put. Shit. I don't know. I think I'm probably going to put Polar Express at 10, even though I watch it every year. I'm going to put Walk, or The Walk. Is it The Walk? I'm going to put The Walk at 9. That movie's pretty intense and based off a true story, I believe. and it's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm gonna put Used Cars at 8, and then now is where we get fucked up. See, I really, really, really like Contact. Being a UFO, a self-proclaimed UFOologist, and all of that, any UFO movie that's done well, I just immediately love. But I don't think that it's better than Back to the Future 1 or 2, Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, Castaway, or Flight. So we're going to put Contact at 7. Okay, we get it, KitchenAid. Stop. Oh no, I can't fucking pull it down now. This website's been buck wild. I know I say it every week, but they are just not chilling. And you got Marvel Rivals, Black Widow, booty cheeks over here. Okay. So 6. This 6 is the toughest one for me, right? Flight is a phenomenal movie through and through, but it's not the most exciting movie, right? Castaway, oh my god, what have we got going on? Castaway is obviously Castaway. Forrest Gump, one of the best movies probably ever made. And I say that in perspective of like probably top 100, right? Back to the Future 1, definitely top 100. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, though, it was a goddamn masterpiece. And then there's Back to the Future 2. So where I'm tied with this is for the 6th spot out of the top 5, for me, it's either Back to the Future 2 or it's Flight. And it's tough because, like, if homie walks into my room and he's like, yo, I got 2 movies we're going to fucking watch tonight, and he holds up Back to the Future 2 and he holds up Flight, I'm like, it's probably going to be Back to the Future 2. Because I don't think Flight's one of those movies where I just don't think I need to watch it again ever. It's really good. Denzel's great in it, of course. Duh. Denzel's the GOAT. But Back to the Future 2 is a lot of fun. Okay, I think I'm going to put Back to the Future Part 2 at 6. I'm going to put Flight at 5. So that leaves our top 4 as Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, and Castaway. And I already know that number 4 is going to be Castaway. Again, Castaway, phenomenal movie. Through and through. Very good, very sad, very tragic, hard to watch. Ending scene makes the movie. And I love my favorite thing about Castaway that, you know, you just don't get in a lot of movies. I mean, you do, but I don't think it's always done super well. It's not a happy ending. It really isn't. Like, it is in the sense of, spoiler alert, the movie came out in 2000. We haven't seen fucking Castaway. Grow up. Right? He gets off the island, and he comes back, and he finds his wife, and finds out that she's remarried, moved on, forgotten about him, thought he died, everything, right? And, like, that dread that just creeps in of, you know, in my eyes, like, because I went back and rewatched this, you know, it gave me that dread of, it's hard to talk about. Like, I'm not going to get teary-eyed, but it's hard to talk about because it's really dark. It's like, when you pass away, right? We're all going to die. Remember that, kids. It fucking makes you live more. The ones around you who care and love for you the most are going to be impacted. But if you want them to be happy, the happiest they could be, they have to move on. And they have to do other things, and they have to not sit there and dwell and be miserable over you not being there anymore. Right? And that's what I really got out of the end of Castaway was like, it's sad, it's tragic, and like you want to point a finger at her and be like, you fucking villain. But then it's like, at the same time, you're like, but if this might make me cry, but if I passed away, I would want my wife to try and find happiness some way, right? I'm not saying like immediately go start dating other people, right? But I wouldn't want her to spend the rest of her life dwelling and in sadness, right? Because I love her and I want her to be happy. And that really like resonated with me with Castaway, because it's like, well, fuck, dude, like you want to hate her, but you can't, because if you truly care and love for her, you'd want her to be happy. And her, you know, I don't know. I can't remember how long he's gone in Castaway either, off the top of my head. Anyways, yeah. So then we have Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Forrest Gump, which, what a list, right? Like, imagine being the guy who gets to say, like, someone's like, oh, you direct movies. Which movies do you direct? And he's all like, well, I did Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like, dude, that is just like top quality badassery. I mean, they're three such good movies. I feel like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, especially going into like 2025, really doesn't get talked about anymore. But that movie is so fucking good and so fun. I hadn't watched it for a long time, and revisiting it, I feel like I like it even more. However, with that being said, it is not Forrest Gump or Back to the Future. So it's going at number 3. And then this is one of the toughest movie answers that I'll have is Back to the Future better than Forrest Gump, or is Forrest Gump better than Back to the Future? And I don't know if I have an answer. You know, I really don't. I feel like Back to the Future is a more fun movie to watch. But Forrest Gump, through and through, is just so good. And with Forrest Gump, and I guess you can kind of say this with Back to the Future, but with Forrest Gump, like you take more stuff out of the movie the more that you watch it. And, you know, I saw Robert and a couple people on a podcast, and they were talking about the movie, and it made the movie way better for me. And, you know, they pointed out like one of the biggest plot points is near the end of the movie, where he asked Jenna, is the baby like me? And, you know, it hits like it when I heard them talk about that, right? And then I rewatched the movie, and you start thinking about it, and you're like, this whole time where you think that he's just in his own world, doing his own thing, ignoring, like, he doesn't understand that people like poke and prod at him. No, he did. He does. The whole time he does. But like, he doesn't give it energy, right? He doesn't waste his life worrying about it. And I think that's like the beautiful part of the movie. But yeah, I think I know my answer. I think Forrest Gump is number 1 here. And that may be a basic bitch answer, and I'm sure all the guys who love Back to the Future will be at my neck. Listen, Back to the Future is so fucking good. It is. Like, when you think of iconic movies from that time era, Back to the Future is always on the list. It always will be, forever and ever and ever. Back to the Future is immortalized in cinema history. So is Forrest Gump, though. So is Forrest Gump. And I think, for me personally, I think Forrest Gump is the better movie. So this is my list. Top 10, we'll run it back. Polar Express, The Walk, Used Cars, Contact, Back to the Future Part 2, Flight, Castaway, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, and then let's look at some community ranks. Okay, well, these people don't really have anything. He just ranked the 5 most popular movies. And then this guy ranked a couple of them. Okay, well, let me know if you agree or disagree. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe if you can. We're doing a giveaway at 1,000. It's going to be a big one. It'll be cool. And let me know if you have any directors or any tier lists you want to see in the future. I'm not running out of ideas. I still have tons of tier lists, but I'm running out of directors that I have seen all the movies of or can like get done in a decent time period. I also, my job, I can no longer watch movies all day, so I'm kind of slowing down a little bit on that end, which sucks. So let me know. Thank you guys. Peace.